So I just climbed a tree about 30 to 40 feet up, and then I put the antenna 10 feet higher than I was. But it was still climb, and I did it like in pitch of black. I had a headlamp on. I'm gonna show you exactly everything I did. But you want to put your antenna in the tree, I'm gonna show you exactly what we did. The lighting is not the best, but you get to see kind of like our DIY project, so I think it's kind of cool just to share my experience. I know everyone has a complete different setup, and so maybe for those of you who are looking to have something, maybe not in a tree or maybe in a tree, you can learn a little bit from this. So I'm gonna walk you through, record everything along the way. It was definitely hands-on, so I couldn't get the best recording. I am not a professional tree climber. I do not recommend you do this ever. So I was in the military for 6 years, Navy technician, and I worked on communications technology, and a lot of my job required me to go up on towers and antennas really high on the boat. And so I got a little bit of a nick for this, I guess. I didn't really pick that job. I just kind of got thrown into it, but turns out it's helping me out with this helium mining stuff. So I'd love to share any information I have for you guys. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it. Now, that being said, listen, if this helps you out in any way, or if you appreciate this kind of content and want to see more, do me a favor and hit the like and subscribe right now. It really helps me out grow, especially with the YouTube algorithm. So I appreciate it, guys. Let's just jump right into it. Again, lighting's not the best, but I know that for those of you who do, you know, have some jerry rig setup, this is definitely going to be something like that. So check this out. All right, so they're not the best conditions, but it's nighttime and money don't sleep, so we're gonna get this going. There's a big old tree over there. Can't even see it right now, but money don't sleep. All right, so literally just climbed a tree. We assessed it. Oh, it was just me up in there, but you want to make sure that you can see. So I went ahead and went up the tree and see. I checked out the line of sight, checked out how high we're actually gonna get. Doesn't look too bad, so we're gonna go ahead and follow through. We're gonna do it anyways, but I just really wanted to see and plan out and just make sure I can get up and down safely. So I don't recommend anybody do this. This is never. I don't think you should do this, especially without any safety equipment. I'm kind of just freehanding it and just have a rope taking tools up and down. So I don't recommend doing this at all. But we're about to put everything together. We have the enclosure. We have a 2x4 we're gonna put on the tree. We got a drill here. I attached that with me on a rope so I can climb up. And the necessity to make sure that you're doing this properly. Okay, make sure you know. We got this 120-foot extension. We have this flat. Oh man, we have this flat Ethernet. All right, we're not going to run that right now, but we're just going to set up everything. And then here's the DBI antenna. This is a short 5.8 DBI antenna that we're going to use. And so basically, we're going to mount this here. We have this rod. Here's an 8-foot rod that we acquired from Home Depot. This is actually a lot skinnier than I would like it to be, but we're going to figure something out here in a minute. We're going to use this to get a little bit more elevation on the antenna. Okay, so yeah, definitely please forgive me for the video quality. I've had my phone in my pocket the entire time. I'm going up and down this like 30-foot tree, so it's kind of sweaty, and I probably forgot to clean the camera lens. But you get to totally see everything I'm doing here. And so I just want to like talk through a little bit because when I first joined the Navy and I was getting taught a bunch of these cable stuff, I was actually pretty timid to like damage or to do something wrong, because they were telling me, hey, make sure not to do this because we're out in the ocean, and for us to get these pieces, like, it's really hard for us to get these pieces. So make sure you take care of your equipment. So I'm going to teach you how to basically take care of your stuff. Got the grounding arrestor. This is so that lightning, when it strikes it, doesn't fry everything. Got the cable, put that together. A lightning arrestor basically allows you to connect a grounding wire to the arrestor, so that way if lightning were to strike it, it would send the charge into the ground, through the wire of course, into the grounding rod, which is buried in the ground. Again, this is kind of basic stuff, but here you're going to see me struggle a little bit, and I wanted to keep this on camera. I'm not going to edit this out because you want to make sure that you're not cross-threading it. So if you're having a little bit of problem in getting it on, you want to make sure that you're actually pushing it in and you're not like just trying to let it slip on there. It's not going to catch on its own. You kind of have to put a little force into it. These cables are not like Sprite bottles where you can just like screw them on real nice and easily. Sometimes you have to put a little bit of effort into it, but again, please take care of your equipment. If you feel like it's really too hard, then it's obviously not going in right.
take it all the way back out and then put it right back in. This is so that you avoid cross-threading. Cross-threading is simply just when the threads of the nut or the cable or the connection, whatever it is that you're using, maybe even the screw, is crossed and they're not going in the grooves. So you really want to avoid cross-threading at all costs, because you're basically going to ruin your cable, you're going to ruin the signal, and it's really hard to come back from that. One of my favorite tips that I learned in the military was shaking the connection while you're trying to screw it in. This helps you overcome a small little obstacle. So sometimes when you're screwing these cables in, it can feel like it's all the way tightened, or it could feel like it's cross-threading. And to figure out if it's doing, if it's maxed out or if it's cross-threaded, you shake it. And if you shake it and then the cable continues to screw in, that means, hey, you still got a little more room. But if you shake it and it's not moving anymore, then you are probably at the very limit, so don't force it, or you're cross-threaded, so also don't force it.
Now we need to weatherproof it, so make sure that you use vulcanizing tape and electrical tape, so that way water doesn't get in and mess up your shit.
So I made a little jerry-rig contraption right here. The neighbor. Alright, you tell me what you're doing here, dude.
Something, I don't know.
I'm not even going to begin to explain what kind of contraption we have going on there, but we have basically a small bolt that is just securing that pole, because, yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. You can do whatever you want. There are brackets made for that. We just didn't have it. So we used one of the antenna brackets, since it comes with two.
Come on, man. Alright, so this is the mount. We're going to put this on the tree. This is the antenna pole, 8 foot long.
All I'm doing is they give you this minor with no instructions. You buy an antenna, no instructions. You go to Home Depot, no one knows what the hell you're talking about. You just get shit from around the house. Like it was saying a hurricane here in Texas. You call it a day.
Start jerry-rigging.
It's not working though.
So we didn't have any crampers, so I went ahead and just tightened this down with the pliers, with the needle nose pliers, and it worked out just fine. But we're gonna add this hose clamp right on it to keep it nice and tight, and we're gonna do the hose clamp. We're gonna put this also on the pole, so that way the pole is nice and tight. Because if you're using a skinnier pole, these clamps that come with your antenna are not going to be small enough, so you're going to have to find a way to secure the antenna to that pole.
So I'm putting a piece of wood in between the antenna and the antenna pole because the space in between was just too much and it was kind of just shaking around. So I'm really just using it as a spacer, and the hose clamp was just too big for what we have, and we didn't have any other small ones. So if you're having this problem, or maybe the brackets that you will have that comes with the antenna and your antenna pole is too small, you can use this as a little solution to put it as a spacer, or just find any other spacer and it'll work.
So this is like nothing professional, but if you're at the very top of the tree, it's not that big, go ahead and probably just do one bolt. I also wedged it in between two branches and then zipped bungee cord it. So I'm going to stabilize this and probably just add one or two more bungees right here, so that way it's just tight. But that thing is up there, right? And if you want to know like how high we are, I mean, I cannot see the ground. I mean, down there the little white light is the ground, but those lights are the city. Yeah, we're at the very top of the tree. That's where the tree ends, up there. And these are the neighbors out here having a good time. But we're like probably 30 feet up.
So we're just using a enclosure that we found on Amazon. It's like 20-30 bucks. They're pretty good, and they have perfect slots for your cables to be putting in there. You also don't have to make too many holes. Any holes that we did make, we went ahead and filled it with some silicone. That way it can harden and then be waterproof. So we detached the base from the BOBCAT miner so we can drill it into the enclosure. Rookie mistake, save yourself some time here. Make sure that you measure with the BOBCAT fully in, not just measuring with the base, because once you go to put it in and it's already screwed in, and let's say the BOBCAT doesn't fit because you're too close to the edges, then you're kind of in a pickle and you gotta redo it. So save yourself some time and definitely measure with the BOBCAT fully in. So one thing that we definitely did right was our planning. As much as we jerry-rigged this, we definitely planned the boxes probably better than anything we did. Make sure that when you're doing this, plan out where you're going to put the BOBCAT in the enclosure, because you'll be able to see exactly where the cables are going to be running, coming in and coming out of, and how you're going to be placing everything precisely in that enclosure, because there's not a lot of room, so you have to make sure that you utilize the room as efficiently as possible. This is the finished product of the box. So I did tape, and then I did vulcanizing tape, and then I did tape again. Now, unfortunately, the box is not online. I think there's a connection or some kind of power issue, because it's not online and it's not working with the internet, but it was already pretty late, so I didn't want to go back up. So I will be giving you guys updates on what we do and how these results come in just as soon as I get this online. But one thing I do want to point out is we didn't do power over Ethernet, but we did do a power Ethernet adapter. And it was giving us a problem. I think it's because of the power issue. So long story short, we're supposed to see 3 green lights, we're only seeing 2, and we plugged it into the laptop. In other words, we plugged in one end of the cable, we just replaced the cable and plugged it into a laptop. We had a good check, and we did have internet, but we don't have internet, or we don't have anything showing online for the BOBCAT. And again, everything's enclosed, so I didn't expect to have to go back up there right away. But again, I'll give you guys updates on that. At the end here, we're just going to be smacking this rod into the ground. It's the grounding rod, and then we just attach the wire to it. It's an 8-foot grounding rod, so that is some serious work. If you're doing that, have fun. That is going to be a project. You're going to take about 30 to maybe 40 minutes getting that rod in. If you have a special tool for it, hey, good for you. I know it's not the most detailed video, but I'm going to have some more installations coming up, and I'll definitely be making videos on all of those. I have a flagpole installation coming up soon, so I'm going to make a video on that one too. That basically wraps it up. So like I said, it was very hands-on, very DIY. I couldn't get the camera up and most of the time because I was kind of just holding on for, you know, my dear life, because I didn't have any wires, I didn't have a harness on. I just kind of free climbed it in my Converse. And like I said, I was really high up there. I couldn't take another step on the tree because I was as high as I could potentially go. And things started getting a little rocky up there. I mean, literally, not theoretically. I started to feel the sway. So if you have that situation, guys, please hold on. Please have a harness. Please don't even do this if you don't feel like you can actually do it. Like I said, I don't recommend anybody do this, but this was actually really fun for me. I really thoroughly enjoyed myself doing this, and I was up there. So thanks so much for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button. Also, if you have anything for me, drop it in the comment section down below. Maybe you want to tell me about the little problems and knickknacks, or maybe small wins you ran into, or even how much more you're earning now with your new setup. So drop it down in the comment below. I'll definitely reply. I appreciate it. Talk to you soon.